In this course, you will learn Flutter and Firebase, and you will learn it by developing a contacts app using Firebase and Flutter. You will learn how to set up Flutter development environment. Then we will integrate Firebase in Flutter. The next thing we will learn is to implement the phone call, SMS, and WhatsApp functionality in Flutter. You will also learn how to export data from external sources like Excel sheet or CSV file to Firebase Firestore database. We will also learn how to read Google Sheets data in Flutter and save it in Firestore database. We will also learn how to populate widgets from data in Firestore database. So hope you will enjoy this course. Please stay connected. Thank you very much. Hello everyone. Let me introduce you the phone directory app in Flutter and Firebase. Here is a view of the app. Now, this app will be developed in Flutter and Firebase, and the directory objective of the app is that the directory will be maintained centrally, and any change made is reflected immediately on all the user devices. Directory can be updated from Google Sheets. So here is a snapshot of the Google Sheets. You will maintain a directory in the Google Sheets, and then the directory will be exported from Google Sheets to the Firebase, which will be displayed on the user devices. Now let me give you a demo of the app. So let me give you a brief overview of the phone directory app which is developed in Flutter and Firebase. And in this project we will create this app. So this is our objective. Now if you see, we have list of the contacts. Here is the name of the contact, then his position, then the category. For example, you see over here, the first one is Muhammad Rasul Shah, and his position is finance officer in the office of Deputy Commissioner. And RO, if you see, it is the category. So you can give your own categories, you can categorize. And on the right side, if you see, there are three icons. If I click on the phone, his phone will be dialed. If I click on the message will be typed over here to this particular number. And if I click on the WhatsApp icon, a WhatsApp message will be sent to this particular contact. At the top, if you see over here, you can have different office locations, or you can categorize it. This is the main category, or this can be used for the project offices or project sites. This can be anything you set up. So for example, you select a location, for example, Orakzai. This is the list of the people who are in Orakzai over here. And if you select all, it will give you all the contacts. Similarly, over here there are categories. This is the all categories. Here is the category of DRO. All the DROs will be displayed. If you click on the arrow, all the arrows will be displayed. These are the categories that you can set up from your Google Sheets file. So here it is. There is also an information button, an information icon. If you click over here, you can give the name of the contact person, or you can also give the help over here. So this is the application that we are going to develop in this project. All information in this, if you see the contacts list, it will be imported from a Google Sheets file, and it will be imported to Firebase, and then the application will read from the Firebase. So hope you will enjoy developing this project. Please stay connected. Thank you very much. Hello everyone. Let me give you a brief introduction of Flutter. So, what actually Flutter is, it is an free and open source mobile application development framework, and it is developed by Google. It is used to develop applications for Android, iOS, and web, and it is based on the Dart programming language. It uses a reactive programming model which allows developer to build high performance and expressive apps for multiple platforms. And the beauty is that you will use a single code base to develop all these applications. And this is the unique feature of the Flutter. Now, the framework features a fast development cycle with hot reload, which helps to improve the workflow of the developers by allowing them to see the changes they make to code in real time. So, when you make some changes and with hot reload, you can see in real time what changes are made. It also provides a set of customizable widgets with smooth animation and with modern design elements that makes it easy for developers to create visually appealing and user-friendly apps. So here, these are the few points about Flutter. Now, since Flutter is using Dart programming language, let me give you a brief introduction of the Dart programming language also. It's actually a programming language which is developed by Google. It is object oriented, class based, and garbage collected. It's easy to use. And Dart has features such as type interface, optional typing, garbage collection libraries, and asynchronous programming models, making it very suitable uh, for building complex applications. Now, it is also includes the rich set of libraries for working with databases, making HTTP requests, and handling user interfacing interactions, and more. Now, overall, Dart provides an efficient and scalable platform for building high quality and high performance applications that run on multiple platforms. So, this was a brief introduction of Flutter and Dart. So, in the next section, we will try to set up a Flutter development environment. So, please stay connected. In the next presentation, I will tell you how to set up the Flutter development environment. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to tell you how to set up a Flutter development environment. Now, to set up a Flutter development environment, you need four steps. The first step is to install the Flutter SDK. And the Flutter SDK can be installed from the link given over here, flutter.dev/docs getting started. And when you click on the link, you open this link in the browser. Here it is. Now, here you select your operating system. Since I'm using Windows operating system, I'll click on the Windows. Uh, the next step is to download the Flutter for Windows. So I will download it, save it on my local machine. Now, since I have already downloaded it, I will just skip this step. The next step is to unzip this file. So when you download this file, the next step is to unzip it. Now you can unzip the files wherever you want. I have unzipped in the C drive Flutter folder. Here it is. So when I click it, this is the what is inside the Flutter folder. Here's a bin folder, and you need the next thing is that you need to set up the path to this particular folder. So I'll go to the environment variables on my Windows machine. Uh, sorry. I'll click on environment system variables and go to the environment variables over here. Click on the path, edit. Now, since I have already given the path over here, it is mentioned c:\flutter\bin. If if it is not over here in this path, you can have a new, and then you can write c:\flutter bin, and then click on the OK. So I'll cancel because I have already set up the path in the environment variable. So with this, we completed the first step of installing, setting up the Flutter development environment, and that is installing the Flutter SDK. So we have completed these three steps. The next step is to install a code editor. So we can install any code editor. So you can install Visual Studio Code, Android Studio, or IntelliJ from IDEA. So you can install any one from these three or any other you like. Since I'm very comfortable with Android Studio, so I will install Android Studio, and Android Studio can be installed from this link, developer.android.com/studio. So let's try to install this. So here we are, developer.android.com/studio. I'll come down, and over here, if you see Android Studio downloads, I will, since I'm using Windows 64-bit operating system, I will select this. Now it depends on the machine and operating system you are using. You can download the version which is compatible with your operating system. So I will download this version. Let me scroll through this long list. I have read and agree and install. So I will download it over here. Now the Android Studio setup file will be downloaded. It's a large file, around 1 GB. So when it is downloaded, you can run this setup, and by following the steps in the setup, you will be able to install the Android Studio. So I will skip installing the Android Studio on your system, and will see how it looks like on your machine. So we have installed Android Studio. Let me check it. Over here we have Android Studio. If I click on the icon, here it is. Here we have. Now, when Android Studio is installed, the next step is to install the Dart and Flutter plugins. And you can install it by clicking on the plugins over here in the Android Studio and type over here Dart. So when you type Dart, the two plugins are searched, the Dart plugin and the Flutter plugin. Since I have installed both of them, you see over here, they are both installed, but you can select both of them and then click on the install button to install these two plugins. So with this, we have completed the second step of setting up the Flutter development environment. That is, we have installed the code editor. The third step, that is installing the Flutter and Dart plugins. Now the plugins helps you for the code completion and the syntax highlighting, and they also offer you some debugging tools. So these are the three steps that we have completed, and we have almost finished the setting up the Flutter development environment. Now let us check our Flutter installation, that whether it is installed or not. So we can verify the installation by the command flutter doctor. So we can give the command from the command prompt of the operating system, or we can also give it in the Android Studio. So let us check whether the Flutter is installed or not. So I will go to the command prompt, cmd over here, and I will type flutter doctor. Here it is. It gives you a summary of the installation of the Flutter. So it is the Doctor summary, Flutter channel stable on Microsoft Windows, Android tool chain, and Chrome. So it means that Doctor found issues. There is one issue, but no problem. It means that the Flutter has been installed successfully on the system. So Then how we will design, how we will create a new app in the Flutter. I will open the Android Studio, and from in the Android Studio you will go to the projects and create a new Flutter project. So here it is. Now it is asking for the Flutter SDK. Since I have installed Flutter in C:\Flutter, this is the SDK path. So I'll just click on the next. And here is the project name. You can give any project name. I will give Foon Directory as my project name and click on the finish to create this project. So it will create a new Flutter project for me. Now from that onward, we can write the code for this project. So here it is. Here is our first Flutter project. So we have successfully set up the Flutter development environment on our Windows machine. And in the next video, I will tell you how to design the app user interface. So as you know, we will develop a full directory app in Flutter. In the next video, I will tell you how to design the interface for that app. Thank you very much. Stay connected. Before starting coding in Android Studio and Flutter, you need to clearly define the app user interface. The app user interface can be defined or it can be drawn either on paper or using a software like proto.io or any other software like Figma. So this is the UI that we are going to design in Flutter in Android Studio. Now let me give you a brief introduction of the widgets that we will use in this interface. At the top we have the app bar over here. This is the app bar. This is the drop down button in which you will give the different location of the offices or the sections in your organization or project sites. It depends on the organization type. Here is the name of the organization, which is a text. Here are two icons. Now the body of the app is actually a column. This whole is a column with two widgets. The first one is the wrap widget, and inside the wrap widget we have the chips, and then the second widget in the column is a list view. Now this is a list view and these are the items. This is item 1, this is item 2nd, this is item 3rd, and inside the item consists of columns. This is column 1 and this is column 2, and over here these are the text widgets. These are the icon button widgets. This one, the call button and the message button. So these are the widgets we are going to develop or we are going to create in our app. So the next topic is how to code in Flutter to have these widgets in our app. So please stay tuned for the next lecture. Thank you very much. So let's create user interface for Phone Directory app in Flutter using Android Studio. I'll click on the Android Studio icon to open the Android Studio. Now this is the first screen you need to do to create a new Flutter project. So here it is. It is asking for the Flutter SDK path, which is C:\Flutter. This is my SDK path. It is taken automatically by the Android Studio. You can give your own SDK path and click on next. Over here you give the project name. I will give the project name as Phone Directory. You see it is stored in the location which you have mentioned initially. You can have a short description of the project. I will write Phone Directory for XYZ organization and click on finish. When you create a new project, a new Flutter project in Android, Android Studio creates the first main.dot file for you, and it is in the lib folder. It is over here. Now you can run the default program by selecting the target over here. You can run this project in either Chrome, Edge, or Windows Desktop app or Android emulator. So I will use Android emulator because I want to test the project on as a mobile app. So I will click on Open Android Emulator Pixel 2 API. Now it is opening. The emulator is opening over here. You see. Now the emulator is ready, and now we can run our project. Click on the run icon. It takes some time for the first time when the project is executed in the emulator. You can fix the size of the pens by drag and dropping these pens like this. Now this is running Gradle task. So here we have the emulator running. Let me zoom it further. Here it is. Now the first thing that you need to do is to delete these unnecessary comments in the project file. So I will go through the program and I will delete all these comments. As you know, these comments has no effect on the execution of the code. Let me press Ctrl S and it is hard reloaded without any changes. Now I need to remove all these widgets. So I will first of all I will delete this text from here, and I can write my own text. For example, phone directory app. Let me save it. Now it is hard reloaded over here, and let me also change the title. The title is here. I will say phone directory, or I can say XYZ organization. Here you can write the name of the organization for which you are going to write the app, You see over here, it is here. So these are the basic things that you need to do. Now let us go to the our basic UI and start building the widgets in this particular screen. Now the first thing we need to do is to remove this debug banner at the right top corner of the screen. So this can be done by writing it over here inside the my app class under the in the material app. Debug show checked mode banner is false. So when I save it, you see the banner at the top is removed. Let me also remove the unnecessary code from the program. This code is not required, so I will remove it. Similarly, floating action button is not required. I will also remove it. And you see when I save it, the floating point button is removed. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is to make this app bar, this one. So how I will do it, I'll go to the code, and over here if you see, here is the scaffold option, the scaffold widget, and inside the scaffold widget we have the app bar, this one. So I'm going to change it. How I will change it? I will remove this code, and over here I will say my app bar. And what is this my app bar? I will write my own widget. Now this is I will suggest to you that whenever you write these programs, use a modular approach in your programming, and instead of writing everything in the same function, it's better to have separate function for each widget. For example, I will write over here my own function, widget, my app bar, and over here this is not actually a widget, but it is actually an app bar because the return type is an app bar. So I will write my app bar, and then I will say return app bar, and over here I will say title is XYZ organization, and when I save it, there is here is text. When I save it, it will have no effect on my UI. Now what next I need to do is to add these widgets. So I need a drop down box, and then I need a text and icons. So I will go to my program and I will make a column. Now let me quickly go through the app bar. The app bar has a title, and the title consists of the column in which I have placed only one item, that is the text widget, which has a title, and then there are actions in the app bar. There are two icons. One is the info icon and one is the help icon, which are shown over here. And I have not set any function for the on tap activity. It is at present null. I will later on write procedures or functions for it to run. So this is a simple overview of the app bar. Now, I need to add this particular drop down button in the code. Let me go to the code again, and let me show you how can we add a drop down button over here. Now for the drop down button, I will I will write another. I can also write the drop down over here, but instead of writing the whole code over here, I will write another widget for it, and I will write widget location drop down, and let me quickly write the code. Now it is the location drop down is over here. It says return drop down, and it is has a string of the items. The items are all, and these are the names of the areas you will mention. So you can either mention the project sites, or you can mention the cities, or you whatever you want to mention. And here is the return drop down menu item value, and this is returning as a text, and the default value is all, and on change value I have not set any value to change. It is only printing the value on the screen. So let me control S. Now it has no effect. Why? The reason is that I have created a widget over here, but I have not displayed it in the, I have not mentioned it in the columns. So I will write it over here. First one is the text is here, and then will be the locations drop down, so it should come over here. Now let me save it. Wow, when I saved it, you see the widget is displayed over here, so it is a drop down widget which is displayed. And you can see, as I have mentioned over here in the drop down button, the on changed even, I have only printed the value on the screen, so it is printed over here. Whatever value I select, it is printed on the screen. The next thing is to create body of the screen, and this body is created by having this outer column over here. So first of all, I will create this outer column with two items. First one is the wrap item, and the other one is the list view item. So let's create these two. Now let me make changes to the body of the app. I will delete the default body from here. Now you see, I have given in the body, the main widget is the center widget with column, and there are two children in the column. One is the wrap and the other is expanded. Now expanded will have the list view. Let me just delete this. The list view. Now we have a wrap and a expanded list view. If you see over here, this is the wrap and this is the list view. These are the two items, these are the two widgets that I have placed in the column. The next widget is to have these chips in the body. I can create these chips by having chips over here. I will say chip, or as I told you, I use a modular approach, so I will create another widget over here in the name of my chip. I'll say widget my chip, and I will pass few arguments to it. My chip, with a string label and color as color. Now here I will see the label as the label I have passed and the style is style. So I have created a widget with my chip. So let me add over here a child. For instance, I will add a child. I will add a chip with the label of all and a color as indigo. Now let me check it. You see over here I have added this particular chip in my UI. Let me add some more chips in this. You can have different categories of your organization, the categories of the staff or the categories of the contacts. As an example, I have added only these categories: engineer, driver, manager, supervisor, and labor. You can add as many categories as according to the requirement of your organization. So I have added categories. Now let me create this list, the list view. How we will create the list view? Now we have a list view and I can write over here, I can add widgets as children to this list view. Now again, as I told you, you can have the children over here, but you can also write a widget. For example, I will write a contact widget and I will, as a child, I will say contact. So here will be this contact will be the first child. Now what will be inside this contact widget? If you go to our user interface over here, we have text over here, text over here, text over here, and text over here, and three icons. So let me create these widgets as items in the widget. Now if we come to the code, here it is. We have a container, we have a decoration for that container, and then we have a list tile widget with title as a row. You see over here we have a text as name and a text position. We have then a row again with expanded text as location and the category. Let me show it to you. This is name, this is the uh, position, this is the location, and this is the category. Now if I go to my program and I run it, you will see the first item over here. So this is the code. Now let me just make it visible to you. So we have this as a contact widget with all these items in it. You can easily see and study this. The source code is also available. I will provide you the source code. Then this is a flexible widget with three icons. Since I have added only one item, one widget in the list view, only one contact is displayed. Now let me add other widgets as well. For example, I will just Control C and Control V this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we have around, so here it is. Now this is the list, scrollable list. Let me zoom it so that you can see it clearly. This is the list which is zoomable. So with this we have created the basic UI for our project. This is the basic UI. We have completed the basic UI in this code, and in the next session I will tell you how to add Firebase to the code so that all the data from this all data in these widgets are retrieved from the Firebase Firestore. So stay connected. Thank you very much. Let me give you a brief overview of the code that we have written for the UI of the application. Now, if you look at the top, there is one function main, and there are three classes in the code. Now, the main entry point, as you know, for any Flutter application is the main function. The main function calls my app class over here, and it creates an instance of my app class, which is a stateless widget. And the first method or the first function that is executed is the build method. And the build method returns a material app. Debug show checked mode banner is false. It actually removes the banner at the right top corner over here we have seen. Then it calls my home page class, which is over here, and my home page class, it calls a stateful widget, my home page state over here. Now the first method or the first function which is executed is the build method, which builds the widgets on the screen. So if I expand it, it is a scaffold. This is a scaffold, the overall, and the app bar is my app bar. This is the app bar, and my app bar is actually a function that I have written. And if I click on, if I click control click, it will go to the function. Now this is my app bar, this one, and what it is telling, the first thing is the title. The title is the title over here, XYZ organization, and then it has a locations drop down, which is this one. Locations drop down is also a function that I have written. It is a widget, location drop down. It is actually a drop, it returns a drop down button, this one, with the options which are mentioned here. So this is the my app bar. Now with this we finish with the my app bar, this portion of the application. The next thing is the body, and the body of the application, it is center. So there is center widget, and inside the center widget there is a column widget. So this whole is a column with two children. The first children is this one, which is a wrap, and the other child is a expanded list view. This is the list view. Now inside the wrap we have chips. This is my chip, my chip, my chips, and the size box width 10 means that we need a space between the chips. This is for having space between the chips. Now my chip is another function which is returns a widget. It has two arguments, label and color, and it is the code over here for these chips. So when I give all, it is, and the color is indigo. I call the function engineer with the label as engineer, and the color is orange. So the color is changed by this argument. So here is the label and here is the color. So we create these widgets inside this wrap widget. The next thing is the expanded list view. This is expanded list view. It has children. It has 3 children, and again contact is a widget, and the contact again it is a list tile with title is row. Now this is a row, and then these are the items inside. We have a column over here. This is a column, name and position, and then we have a row with children. This is location, and this is the category. This is a container, and then we have a flexible widget. Inside that flexible widget, we have these three widgets. So it is not showing correctly because I have not downloaded this PNG file yet. That's why it is not shown correctly over here. We will correct it in the next code. So this is a brief overview of the code that we have written for creating this UI. In the next session, I will introduce you to the Firebase, and then we will connect a Firebase data store with our this application UI, so that data from the Firestore will come to these contexts, and the context will be displayed on the screen. So please stay connected. Let me give you a brief overview of the Firebase Firestore database. Firebase Firestore database is a flexible, scalable, NoSQL cloud database. It is developed by Google as part of the Firebase platform, and it allows developers to easily store, synchronize, and query data for their web and mobile apps. Firebase supports real-time updates, offline access, and automatic scaling, and a very powerful querying capabilities. It also allows features such as document and field level security rules, data validation, and integration with other Firebase services. Firestore is commonly used for building real-time collaborative applications such as social media platforms, e-commerce apps, and gaming apps. Now, let's start our work and go directly to console.firebase.google.com to create our own Firebase database. So I will open a browser, and in the browser I will give the URL console.firebase.google.com. Here it is. I will add a new project. I can give it any name. I will give it a name, phone directory. Continue. Just for simplicity, you click on the continue. Now it requires to configure a Google Analytics account. You can use the existing account or you can create a new account. You can give it any name, my account, for example. Save it. And then the analytics location, I select United States. I accept the Google Analytics terms. Create project. It is creating project, provisioning resources for the phone directory project. So here it is, your new project is ready. Now here is our project, phone directory project. Now the next thing I will do is I will build my Firestore database. So I will select from the build option, then Firestore database. Because I will store my contacts in the Firebase database. Click on this. These are some security rules. You can select the default, click the next, and then you can select the cloud Firestore location. You can select any location. Let me select the default location and enable it. So here we have a blank database, Firestore database. We have nothing inside it. So the first thing that we need to do is to create a collection. Firestore database is a collections. So let me start the collection. I will start a collection over here, and I will say, for example, the collection name is contacts. So once you create the collection, you need to add documents to the collection. The collection is not created because I selected cancel. So I will again add the collection as contacts and click on the next. Now the next thing is the collection ID. You can give it ID yourself, or you can auto generate the ID. Now here you mention the fields and add the fields you want in your document. So the first field that I will add is name. For example, I will say Heather Ali. I will add another field, and that is the cell number or contact number. That is, then is the field that is the category. For example, I will say the category is, say, for example, developer or engineer or anything else. Then I will add the location. Location is, for example, Makkah. You can add also an email, abc@xyz.com, and you can add as many fields as you want. So category, I have added these, and then I will add position. Position is, for example, at quarter. So with this, when I click on the save button, I created a single document inside this collection. Let me add another document by the same method. I will say add document. I will auto generate the ID. I will say the name as Muhammad, for example. Then the category as engineer. Then position, site engineer at Makkah. Then location, again I will say Makkah, and then cell number +92 321 Now let me save it. Now I have two documents in this collection. The collection name is contacts, and I have two documents in it. There is no email in this, so I can add email, and I say, for example, muhammad@gmail.com. Let me check for other fields. 1 2 3 4 5 6 fields, and over here 1 2 3 4 5 6 fields. So we have two documents in this collection. We can add as many documents as we want, or we can start another collection inside this collection. So over here, it is a hierarchical structure of this NoSQL database, in which you can create sub collections as well over here. So with this, we have finished creating our Firestore database. Now the next step is to how to integrate this Firebase Firestore database in our Flutter application. How we will be able to read this data from this particular collection into our Flutter application. So stay connected. I will tell you how to do this. Thank you very much. Now, after having the basic UI for our app and setup of the Firebase Firestore database, our next step is to how to read data from the Firestore Firebase database in Flutter application. So we will populate our list view which contains the contacts of the company from the Firestore Firebase database. Now the first step in doing so is to go to the Google Firebase console. I will say console.firebase.google.com, and from here you select your project. My project is phone directory. I will select the project. The next step is to add an app. I will click on add app. I can add an iOS app, an Android app, a web app, a Unity app, or a Flutter app. So I will click on the Android. Now over here, I will give the package name of the app. From where can I get it? I will go to the Android Studio and open the Android directory and then click on the app directory and open the build.gradle file. Now inside the build.gradle file, you will see the application ID over here. I will copy it and paste it in the console.firebase.google.com. You can give any nickname. For example, I will give it the name phone directory. This debug signing certificate, that is SHA-1 certificate, is optional. But you can also get it from the Android Studio. Let me just skip it. I will click on the register app. Now the app is registered. The next step, step 2, is to download the Google Services JSON file. So I will click on this file and will download it. Now where I will download it, I will go to the my project directory. My project directory is in Flutter apps, and Flutter apps, the directory name is phone directory. And then I will go to the Android, then to the app, and then I will save it. Here it is. So this is the second step. The third step is to add Firebase SDK. And how we will add it? The first one is to add these 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines in the build.gradle file. So from here you copy it, and it is in the uh, project build.gradle. So you can copy it by clicking this icon and go to the Android Studio. Over here, this is the app build. I'm not going to make changes in the app build. I will go to the project build file and I will add all these lines over here. So follow the instructions given over here. Copy this and also copy this to the app gradle file. So I have added this. This is the next step. And the third step is you can have some changes in the Firestore authentication options. So click on the continue to console, and here you have the phone directory app which is added to your project. This is your file based project and your app has been added. Now there is one other small thing over here, that when you go to the Firebase database, you need to make some changes in the rules. Click on the rules, and for the time being just uh, change it to the true, change this false to the true, so that everyone can have read and write access. This is granting access to the Firestore Firebase database. We will go into the details of all these rules sometime later, but for the time being you just only convert this false to true, and then click on the publish. So these rules have been changed. Now everything on this side, console.firebase.google.com, has been finished over here. The next step is to go into the app and see how we can fetch the data which is available over here in this context list, and we want to fetch these two contexts, and put it in the list view in the Flutter. So I will go to the Android Studio, just close it, and I will go to the main function. Now if you see over here, this is our project, this is the UI. Now this UI, this is a list view. My objective is to convert this list view or read data from the Firebase in this list view. So I will just delete all these uh, contexts over here, and I will say I will create a list view over here. Now as I told you, I usually have a modular approach for solving these problems. So instead of writing the code over here, I will write my own widget as a separate function, and I will call this context list view. Now this is a list view which has been written a, as a widget over here. Now remember that before writing any code for fetching data from the Firestore database, you need to make some changes in the pub spec YAML file, and these are the two changes that you have to make. The first of all, you have to add these two dependencies. The first one is the Firebase core dependency, and the next one is the Cloud Firestore dependency. So these two dependencies needs to be added, and then when you go to the main dot file, you have to import these two packages. The first package is the Firebase core package, and the other one is the Cloud Firestore package. Now after importing these packages, the next step is to initialize the Firebase. So you need to make some changes to the main function. Instead of making void, make it future void main, and this, because we are using await over here, you have to make it async. So add these two lines in the main function, initialize and ensure the widgets flutter binding dot ensure initialized. Add these two buttons. Now when we come over here, the next step is to read the collections, the read to read all these documents in this collection and place it in the list view. So I will click on the list view over here, context list view. Now over here, this is the main code. It is a widget context list view, and it is a future builder, and in the future you say firebase.initialize app, and in the builder you return a stream builder with stream from db.collection.context. So over here it is taking from this collection, and then the builders takes a snapshot from the collection, and you have, if there is no data, then there will be a circular progress bar over here, and whenever the data is available it will return a list view, and the list view will have children as all the documents from this particular context, from this particular collection. So over here these the children are established from the collection which is over here. So this is the collection which is read into the program over here. So I will return a card, and the card has a list title. Let me just have a list tile with title, subtitle, and trailing. So I will read the fields from here. Here is the category, here is the name, and here is the cell number. Now let me run the program. Now you see, here it is. We have the basic layout. Over here we have mentioned the names of the fields, name, category, cell number. If you see over here, it's name, category, cell number. We can give it any field name over here. Now for example, let me change this cell number to the position. I will say over here position. Now the position comes over here. Here it is. Here. So in this way we have the Firebase database data available in our list view in Flutter. In the next lecture, I will tell you how to organize the data so that it matches our our UI. So please stay connected. Thank you very much. Now that we have the basic structure of our program in which we have the UI and we read data from the Firestore database, let's refine our list view UI. Now this is our list view we have just created. We have read this data from the Firestore Firebase database, and this is our target UI. So in this video, I will try to make this UI. This is the list item that I will change from this format to this format. As I told you before, we have different widgets over here which are explained in this screen. So now in this presentation I will tell you how to create this particular portion. Now if you see over here, basically this list item, we can divide it into two this is actually a row with flexible items. One is this flexible and the other one is this, and then we have a column over here with 1 2 3 rows in it, and this is the first, this is the second, and the third one consists of a row. So let's program this how we can make this UI from the using Flutter. So I will straight away go to the my folder over here. Now this is my program. As this is my normal programming practice, that I make modular. I use modular approach for my programming. So over here, instead of this is the child item. So instead of writing the code over here, I will just copy it. I will control X and will have my own widget over here called the contact. This is the contact widget that I will create. So I will come over here and we'll say widget contact and will control V over here. So it will return the contact from from this particular function. Now if you see over here inside the context we have an array because we don't have the doc, the doc over here is not readable, so we can pass the doc from here as an argument, the document, and over here I will say document. Let me check the type. The type is query document snapshot, so I will say over here query document snapshot, and the error is resolved. Let me see, here is a missing return statement, so I will say return. Now if I hard reload it, it will have the same effect over here. There will be no change. So whatever changes I will make it there in this code. So let me first of all create the two flexible widgets, as I told you here in this presentation. These will be the two flexible widgets. So I will copy this code just to remember it. I paste it over here. I will delete all these items from here. I will add a row as a child with children. Now in this row we need two children, and these children will be flexible widgets. So I will say flexible child, I will say null for the time being, and another flexible with child as null over here. Or I can put the text that I have copied as children. So over here I will say the name, and here I'll mention the position. Now let me check how it works. Here it is. Now they are coming together, so let me give it some flex value. I will give it a flex value of 4, and over here I will give it a flex value of 1. Now let me check it. Yeah, site engineer 8, Makka developer 8, this. Now if we come to our original UI, we will place these icons over here, icon buttons on this side, and this is some text. So to make it simple, let me just change it to a simple text. Over here we'll put icons. I will do it later. We'll put icons over here, and over here I have to make this these widgets. So how I will make these widgets? Uh, I will have a column. To have these 4 widgets, I need a column, and a column will have 3 rows. First is a text, another is also a text, and the third one is a row widget with 2 columns in this. So let me program it. Over here in this, first of all I need a column, so let me delete it. In this I will have a column with children, as the first one is a text, the second one is also a text, and let me see what it is. The first one is the name, the other one is the position. So we have the position, and the third one is a row, and the row has 2 children. The first one is Sorry, I forgot a comma over here. The first one is a text and the other one is also a text. This text is the location and this is the category. Location and category. Now let me save it. Over here we have the name, the position, location, and then the category. Let me refine it. First of all, I need to make this as bold. To change the style of the text widget, I need to apply the style option in the widget. So I will apply style and then say text style as, first of all I need to change the font size. Let me make it 13. Let us check it. Now the font size has been changed to 13, and let me change the let's place it in the second row so that it is visible. So the font size is 13, and then the next thing is the font weight. So I will say font weight dot bold. When I save it, it will be bold. You can increase the font size to 15 to make it larger. This is the font size. So I have changed it. Let me also change the font size and style for the others as well. So here we are. I have changed this style for the another text widget as well. Now if we come to the next line, the third line, the location and position are written together. I want to separate it to make it like this. I just want to pull the category at the very right. So how I will do this? I will use expanded widget to expand this text widget. So all I need to do is to wrap this location in the widget that is the expanded widget. Now let me check it. Yeah, here it is. Now the next thing is that we need some spaces over here, and also I need this font color to be white and the background to be black. How I will do it? Let me show it to you. So quickly going through the code, I have used the expanded widget, and for the text style I have changed the font family and the font size and also the text alignment. And for this particular widget, this is also a text widget, I have used a container with a black 87 as the background color, and the padding is left and right padding is 2020, and the top is 5 and the bottom is also 5, and the child is this category with text style with font size as 10 and font weight is bold and color is white. Text alignment is right and soft wrap is false. Now with this code we are done with the left part of the widget. Now we come to this part in which we will have the icons. So I will come down, and over here, since it is, if you see over here, since this is a column with three icon buttons, I will have a column in my code. So instead of writing the text over here, I will put a column. Let me add a column with children. The first children is an icon button. So it is an icon button with unpressed. I will say null for the time being, and the icon is icons dot call. Yeah, let me check it. sorry, uh, no, oh, sorry. The icon is icon, which is a new icon, and I will give icons.call as the argument. Now let us check it. So here it is. Now we need the other two buttons. I'll just copy and paste it. So I will say three icon buttons. The next one icon button is the message, which is called the text SMS button, and you can use any one of these. I will use the outlined one. Let us check it. So we have these two buttons over here. Now I need to have my own icon. That is, I need a WhatsApp icon. Now let me check it if there is a WhatsApp icon over here. No, it is not there. So what I will do, I will create my own icon. I will download it, and then I will put it in my resource directory. In order to have my own WhatsApp icon, which is not available in the Flutter default icons, I need to download it. So I will search for the icon in the Google, for example, or anywhere you can take it from anywhere you can take it from the Google. So let me use this one. Now where I will save it, you have to save it into the project directory. So my project directory is in Flutter apps. Flutter apps, I have the phone directory app, and on the phone directory go to the lib. Sorry, not lib. You have to go to the resource directory. Sorry, go to the let me do it again. Go to the Flutter apps. Here is my phone directory app, and over here you have to create a new directory res, and under that res you create a new directory icons, and under the icons you can save it, for example, whatsapp.png file. So once you have saved your png file, the next thing is that you go to the public.yaml file to make this resource available to your project. So under the Flutter, you open the public.yaml file from the main folder of the lib, and over here you have to mention the assets, what assets you are going to download. So you will say res, and then you give the icons, and then whatsapp.png, and you get the you use the pubget command. So in this way you will have the WhatsApp PNG file in your project. Now we go to our main file, and instead of giving over here, since we don't have the icon over here, we will use the we will refer to the asset in our folder res/icons folder. So in the icon I will mention image.asset, and then I mention the path for that particular file to use. Let me check it. Now you see over here the WhatsApp icon has been displayed. So in this method, in this particular video, we created our screen for the app. Now the next thing is that we want to add functionality to this application, that when we click on the call button, a call is made to the contact. When we click on the message button, a message is sent to the contact, and when we click on the WhatsApp button, a WhatsApp message can be opened for this particular contact. So in the next video, I will tell you how to do this. So please stay connected. Thank you very much. In this presentation, I will tell you how to make a phone call from a Flutter app. So the objective is that when the user clicks on this particular icon, the call icon, uh, call is made to this contact. So let's start. Now the first thing I will do is I will write a function over here, uh, a void function, void phone call, and I will call this function from here. I'll say phone call. This is on pressed event. Now, in order to make a phone call to from Flutter, you need to add in the Flutter Firebase, sorry, in the public pubspec.yaml file, you have to add in the dependencies a dependency URL underscore launcher. So go to the pub spec YAML file, add the dependency, and run the pub get flutter function. Now we come to the main, and in the main file you have to add the I'll come to the main, and you need to import the package. Import package, and the package name is URL launcher. So you need to add this package. Now the next thing is to call this function. After adding the package, I will come to the phone call function and add the statement over here. The function will be launch, and over here you give the URL. So I will write tell and then double slash slash, and over here you write the telephone number. For example, I will say 932 for instance, and then I click on I have write the semicolon, and when I run it, let me check it in the emulator. So when I click on the button, so when I click on the call button, here we have the call option in Android. So this is how we can make a call from Flutter in our program. Now, since we have hard coded this telephone number, I will just now the objective is to call this particular number, not this hard coded number. So what I will do over here, I will pass a string option in this string phone number, and over here I will delete this, and I will have plus phone number, and from here I have to send the phone number to this. So I will put in inside the argument doc.data of cell number. I will pass this as an argument. Now it is giving me an error. Let me just expand it to make it clear. Here it is. Now I will I will close it in the braces. Sorry. Here is the argument. Then I need a semicolon, and and this close. So here is the code. Now let me save it and see how it works. For example, I click on this, it will be called, that particular contact will be called. And when I click on the other one, another contact will be called. So in this video, we programmed how to make a phone call from in Flutter in this code. So in the next video, I will tell you how to send an SMS message by clicking the message icon from here. So please stay connected. Thank you very much. In this tutorial, I will tell you how to send SMS in Flutter. The first step you need to do to send SMS in Flutter is to make changes in the public pubsec YAML file. And in the pubsec YAML file, you have to add the library that is Flutter SMS. Add the Flutter SMS library, run the pub-get command. The next step is to import the package, and the package name for using SMS is Flutter SMS. So I will import it, import package Flutter SMS over here. Now after importing the package, you need to write the code to send SMS. So for sending, now objective, as you know, objective of this presentation is that when the user clicks on the SMS icon, an SMS is sent to this particular contact. This is the objective. Now for that, as I wrote a function for the call, I will write a separate function for send SMS. So I will write over here send SMS. Sorry, this is a void function, void send SMS, and over here I will write the code. Now from here this code will be called, it will be called from here. So I will write the code over here. This is the, let me just put it in the next line. Now in the onPressed event, I will call the function send SMS. Now here is the actual code that I will like to send SMS from the Flutter application. Now in order to send SMS from the Flutter application, you need a string array, a string list of the recipients. So I will create a list of strings, recipients, and I will initialize it to only one value. So I will write a phone number over here, for example +92, any number I will put it here. And the next thing is to call the send SMS method. So I will change this to, now to send SMS I will call the send SMS method of the package. Oops, I need to change this name because they are the same name. So let me put an underscore over here to distinguish between the send SMS message of my program and that of the package. So over here I will write send SMS, and now we need to call the send SMS function in the Flutter SMS library, and it has uh, two arguments. The first argument is the message, the default message you want to send. For example, hi there, this is my message. And the second argument is the recipients. So in the recipients, this is the list, this is a string list which I have mentioned over here. So recipients is recipients. Now it will send a message, and you need to write an await statement over here and async to be asynchronous. Now let me run this code. Now let me try it. Let me click on this icon and see what happens. Oops, there is an error, and the error says device not compatible. The current device is not capable of sending text message. Now when you have this type of error, you need to make some changes in the Android manifest file, which is in the Android folder. Under the Android folder, go to the app folder and then go to the src folder, and inside the src we have the main folder, and then we have the Android manifest file. You just make, I will, for just to save time, I will copy and paste it. So you need to add these lines of code. Use Android permission dot send message, and also these queries. So when you make these changes and rerun the program and click on the, let me reduce it on this message. No, again. So I need to stop this and restart the program. Now I have restarted the emulator. Let me check. Here it is. No. So here we are. Let me click it again. Oh yes, it worked. So it has opened the send SMS interface, and I can send this message to this recipient. Now let me make some changes to the code, because in the code I have written the hard coded the recipient. Now instead of hard coding it, I will give it as a string over here. So I will say string and will say recipient, and instead of hard coding I will just write the recipient. And since I'm calling it from here, so I can give it the number from here. Here is the number, sorry, here is the number. Here is the number. I can give the number over here. Or since I'm taking it from the Firebase, I will use the contact number of this particular context. So instead of writing over here, I will say doc of cell number. Now, and if I go to the send SMS, I can also remove this message from here to have a blank message. Now let me check it. And when I click on the icon, now it is coming over here to this number. I can type any message. For example, hello, and send. Oh, that's it. So in this way, we were able to send SMS to the contact from the contacts list. In the next video, I will tell you how to send a WhatsApp message from the Flutter. So please stay connected. Thank you very much. In this tutorial, I will tell you how to send WhatsApp message in Flutter. Now, the first step you need to do to send message in Flutter is to go to the public spec YAML file and add the URL launcher. This is the first step. Then click on the pub get uh, to get the plugin. Then in the main folder, import the package URL launcher. Now, after importing the package, I will write a separate function for sending SMS, for sending WhatsApp message. This can be done by writing a function. So let me write a function over here. I will write a function void send WhatsApp with no arguments for the time being. And first of all, I need a variable, a string. It can be a var or it can be a string. So I will add a string and will add WhatsApp URL, or you can simply say a URL. And in this URL, you have to first of all mention WhatsApp colon slash slash and then send and then question mark and then the phone number. For example, I will say 92 any number over here. This is the URL. And the next thing is that you simply have the launch URL function, call the launch URL function, and in the launch URL function, you have to convert the string URL into a URI. So you do by writing URI.parse and then give it the string argument, and that's it. So in this way, when you call this function, a WhatsApp message will be sent and WhatsApp will be opened for this number in which you can write a text message or any message and you can send it to the URL. Now I need to call this function when this icon is clicked. So I will go to the main UI interface over here. Let me put it in the next line to make it clear. And in the pressed, I will call this function send WhatsApp semicolon, and that's it. So when I run it, when I run the program and I click on the send WhatsApp, WhatsApp will be opened. So when the WhatsApp icon is clicked, the WhatsApp will be open. Now since I'm using the emulator, that's why WhatsApp is not available on this emulating device. It is not opening. But if you test it on the real device, the WhatsApp will be open and you can send message to the number. Now you see I have hard coded the number over here. I need to change this hard code to something like which I can pass as an argument. So I will say string phone number and I will write the phone number over here as dollar sign, and I need to pass it from here since it needs an argument. So I will copy this portion of the code and put it over here. So in this way, when we click on any icon over here on the WhatsApp icon, WhatsApp will be opened for this particular contact. So in this way, we can use a WhatsApp message from Flutter program. Thank you very much. Stay connected. We will go further in this course. So please stay connected. Thank you very much. Hello students. In this presentation, I will tell you how to export data from Excel or CSV file to Firebase database. Now let's code it. So here I have my Excel sheet in which I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns with serial number, category, name, cell number, position, location, and email. And this contact list, I will export it to the Firebase database, which is over here. This is my Firebase project, and here is the Firebase database, and here is the contacts collection. So here are, at the moment, I have 2 contacts in this collection, and I want to export all these contacts from this Excel sheet to the Firebase database. Now the first step is to convert this file to CSV format. So in Excel, I will go to File, Save As, Browse, and then say, in the file type, I will select CSV MS-DOS, and I will say Save. Context.csv already exists. I will overwrite, no problem. Do you want to keep that format? Yes. Now let me open the file. Here I have the file, the context.csv. Let me open it in Notepad++. Now the first thing you need to do is to delete the top line, which is the field names. So here we have the CSV file. Here it is. So now let's go to the Flutter and write the program for exporting this CSV file to the Firestore database. Now the first thing you need to do is to copy the CSV file to the assets folder in the Flutter project. So I will copy this context.csv file, Control C, and put it in the res folder. I have the phone directory app, and here is res. I will copy it. So this is the first step. The next step is to make changes in the pub/spec YAML file. So I will go to my project, phone directory, open the pub/spec YAML file. Here is the pub/spec YAML file. I'll come to the assets, and over here I will write res-context.csv. This is the file name that I want to have it in my project. I will click on pub-get, or I can run from the command prompt to get the resources. Now after adding the CSV file in the pub/spec YAML file, I will write the code. So before writing the function for the uploading or exporting data from CSV file, I need a button for the user, which is when clicked, the data is exported. So I will simply put an elevated button at the top over here, elevated button. On pressed, I will say export data. This is a function that I am going to write. Let me put it in the next line to make it clear. And in the child, I will say text widget, and it will say export CSV. Since I have not written the export data function, I will write it over here, void export data. Let me check it. So there is some problem. Sorry, I forgot a comma here. Let me check it. So here is the export CSV button, which is when clicked, this function will be called, and here I am going to write the code. So let me write the code. Now before writing code inside the export data function, you need to add the CSV library in the pub/spec YAML file. So I will say CSV, sorry, SV, and then I will call the pub get function, and now I come to the main program, and here I need to import the package CSV dot dot, and I need another package, and that is import package Flutter slash services. Now Flutter services. It is not found. Now I need to add a package and add the Flutter services, import the Flutter services package as well, and I will import it as root bundle. Now that I have imported these two packages, let's go to our function and write the code to export data. So here is the function. Now let me import another package, and that is dart async and show as future, and I also will change this to show bundle. Now the first line of code that I'm going to write is to add a reference to the collection. So I will say final collection reference context, this is any variable name, equals to Firebase Firestore dot instance dot collection, and then I give the collection name, that is contexts. Now note that this collection name is the name of the collection in the Firebase you want to add data to. So here is context, I will add to this collection, that's why I have written collection over here. You can make it on multiple lines to be more clear, like this. The next step is to load the CSV file in a single string. So I will write final my data, and this can again be any variable name, and I will use the await statement. So I'll say root bundle dot load string, and over here I will give location of the CSV file, res slash context dot csv semicolon. Now this, if you go to the project directory, the file is here. This, all these data will be read as a text and placed in this single variable. Now since I'm using await, I have to use the async keyword here. So we have read this data into this variable. Then the next thing is to place the data in a list. So I will create a list, and it again has a list. This is a dynamic list, and I will say this is a CSV table. Now what this command is doing, I will write CSV to list converter. Now it will convert the CSV text into a table dot convert. So I'm going to convert my data, which is actually a string, into a table format. So it will come in this particular table, CSV table, in the tabular format. And again, I will create another variable, list, and this is also a dynamic list, dynamic, and then I'll say my data, or since I have already defined my data, I will define data. This is an array. Now this is a list and this is now an array. Now what I will do, that I will loop through this data, and now I will take data from the CSV table list and put it in the data array. So I will say data is equal to CSV table. So it will convert from this list to a two-dimensional table, two-dimensional array. This data is a two-dimensional array. Now when we have the data in this two-dimensional array, we can loop through all the items in this array and can do whatever we want to do with the data. So I will use a for loop, and I will say for any variable name var equals 0, it will take start from 0, and then I less than data dot length to loop through all the items in the data, and then I will increment it, so I will say I plus plus. So here is the loop. Now in this loop we will go through all the items in the list. How can we refer to each item? We can refer to the item by its arguments. For example, data of 0 comma 0, it is the data at column 0, row 0 and column 0. So it is this data over here. If I refer to it as 0 and 1, it is row number 0 and this is the data. So, and if I tell over here that I need 3 comma, for instance 4, it means that the data is in the 0 1 2 third row and 0 1 2 3 4, so I'm referring to this data. So this is how we can refer to different items in this two-dimensional array. Now what I will do is I will create a record variable, and it will be a record variable will be like this, and in this record variable I will say, I will assign each value. For example, I don't need the serial number, so I will just skip it. Now this is the category, so I will write over here category colon data of I of 1 comma. So since I'm going through the loop, this data will come to the category. The next thing is if I look over here, it is the name. So I will say name and colon data of I comma 2 and so on. Let me copy and paste it. The next item is the cell number. So here is the cell number. And next item is the position. So I will say position. Next item is the location. I will say location. And last item is, let me check what the last item is. This is, I think, email. Yes, this is email address over here. So I will say email. Let me change it. This is 1, 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, this one is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, this is not correct because I have written the name twice. I will delete it. So this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this one is 6. Now, when we get this data in the record, what we need to do, we need to add it to the Firebase database. So how can we add it to the Fire database? We will refer to this reference. So I will write over here contacts. This is the collection reference, and then I will call the add function to add the record. So over here, when I say contacts.add, this particular contact will be written to this particular collection. So at this time, we have only two contacts, are only two documents in this collection. Now let's run our program and see what happens. So I will hard reload. Now click on the export CSV, and when I go there, let me refresh it. Oh, I have mentioned the second context, just I was testing it. So let me change it. Let me change it to the sorry. I have changed this to the context. Let me check again. When I click on the export, let me see here. Now, here it is. So we have all the contexts exported from CSV file to this collection. And if we go to our program and see, we will have all the contacts in the list. So the list is populated according to the new data added. Here it is. So we have all this data now available in Flutter Firebase from the CSV file over here. So this is how we export data from CSV to the Firebase. Thank you very much. Hello everyone. Today I am talking about an exciting topic of exporting data from Google Sheets to Firebase. There are three steps of doing it. The first step is to set up a Google Sheets environment. In the next step, we will read data from the Google Sheets in Flutter. And the third step is to write data that we read from the Google Sheets to a Firestore database. So let's move. So I have a Google Sheet over here, and I have a Flutter Firestore database. I want this data to be exported from this Google Sheets to this Firestore using my Flutter app, this one. So when the user clicks on the Read Google Sheets button in this app, data will be transferred or it will be exported from this sheet to the Firestore database. Now we will start with creating our Google Sheets first. So the first step is to create a Google Sheet that I have already created. I have 7 columns in this sheet with data available in it. The second step is to give a sheet name. I have given it a name phone directory. The next thing is that you need rename the sheet. Over here I have renamed it to the contacts. So this is my sheet name. Now for setting up these sheets to be read by the Flutter app, we need to have some settings in the console.google.com. Sorry, console.cloud.google.com, and this is the main page of Google Cloud Console. You need to create a project. You can create a new project by over here. I will say new project, and I will name it as G Sheets project. Click on create. Now it is creating the project. We have created the G Sheets project. Select the project. Once you have created the project and you have selected, search for the Google Sheets API. Here it is. I will click on this Google Sheets API. And click on enable. It is enabling. So we have created the Google Sheets API. It is enabled. The next step is to click on the credentials and create credentials. Then click on the service account. Give a service account name. For example, I will say G Sheets for Flutter. You can give it any name. Click on create and continue. Service account created. Click on continue again and click on done. So we have a service account created, which is this one.
And we want to select the JSON.
Now click on edit, select the account and you edit it. The next thing is to create a key. So click on the keys, click on add key, create a new key and select the JSON and create. So it will create for you a G Sheets projects JSON file. You can save it to anywhere. I will save it in the downloads folder. Let me open the JSON file. Here is the file, and we will use this information in our Flutter application. So keep this file, we will use it after some time. The next thing is that you go to the details. Here is the email. Copy this email address, Control C, and then go to the sheets. And when you come to the sheet, we will share this sheet with the email that we have selected. So over here, I will give the email and I will send. So I have granted permission to that particular account to access this sheet, context sheet in the phone directory.
Just copy this one.
So with this, we have completed the first step of our application. Then we will go to the next step, and that is read data from Google Sheets in Flutter. So I will go to my Flutter application, and in the Flutter application, the first thing you need to do is to go to the pub spec YAML file and add the dependency for the Google Sheets, and that is the G Sheets dependency. I have 0.4.2. It depends on your application. This is the this is what we have to do in the pub spec YAML file. The next step is you go to the main to your main program, and over here you import the package gsheets dot dot, and you need to copy this code const credentials, and the credentials will be taken. This is the format, and the credentials will be taken from the JSON file. As I told you before, this is the JSON file. Just copy these credentials that you have downloaded and put it over here, in copy and paste it here. So you will have these credentials. The next thing is that you define a spreadsheet ID. This is a constant, and the spreadsheet ID, it will be taken from the Google Sheets. Go to the Google Sheets and copy this part from here slash after slash d up to here. Copy it and give it in the credentials in the spreadsheet ID. This is the ID. So these are at the top. You have to make these two changes in the program. Now next, now I have this elevated button in my app, and when the user clicks on this button, the function is called read data from the Google Sheets, and this is the function. Now in this function, the first thing that you need to do is to have a collection to the reference. I have given the collection reference as context 3. You can give it any, for example, you can give it context 2. I'm using context 2 because I don't want to mix it with my original context collection. That's why I have given it context 2. Now the next thing is that final you need to have a gsheets variable which refer to the to the Google Sheets. Now when I have with this statement, it will use these credentials, and with this statement, when I apply this statement, it will have a reference to the G sheet. So with this statement, I will have reference to the this particular G sheet. Now in the next statement, SS awaits spreadsheet with spreadsheet ID, is it will refer to the spreadsheet. Now with sheet, since there will be different sheets in this we will have Firebase users and we have the contacts. So over here I will give it the sheet name as contacts, because I have two sheets and I want to refer to this particular sheet. So I will refer to the contacts. Now rows, int rows sheets dot row count, it will return the number of rows in the sheet. And var cell rows, it will refer to one cell, one row of the all cells in the row for that particular sheet. Now the next thing is that I apply a for loop which goes through the all the rows in the sheets. So it will start from one. Why I'm taking start from one? The reason is that at location number 0 I have the title, so I will ignore the first row and I will take start from the second row. So I will take start from this row, and over here I want to print elements at 2. So it is column number 0, this is column number 1, this is column number 2. Now for the time being, I only want to print the names of the contacts on the screen. Now sorry, this is the program. Now let me run it. When I click on the Google Sheets, here is the run. Now it is printing me the names of the over here, the names of the contacts. So all the names are displayed from the Google Sheets over here on the screen. So we have in this program we have read the data from the Google Sheets and displayed it on the screen using Flutter. In the next video I will tell you how to put this data or how to export this data to the Firebase Firestore database. So stay connected. Thank you very much. We have completed setting up the Google Sheets environment, read data from the Google Sheets. Now it's time to write data to the Firestore database in Flutter. Now I will again go to my program, and this is over here we read all the data. Now for the simplicity I will just copy and paste the code. Uh, Now I will have a record variable in which I will add values uh, to the variables. Now over here, if you see, I have the, let me close the emulator. Now over here, I am referring it the cells row, and it is taking one row from the here. And when I say I, it is a for loop. So for the first thing, it will take row at position number I. It will take the entire row cells and put it in this variable. Now the next thing is that I from each cell row I will say element at 1, and the value will be put in the category. Let me show it in the Google Sheets. If I minimize it, it will be more visible. Here it is. So over here at element 1, this is the category. At element 2, this is the name. Here is the cell number, here is the position, and here is the location, and the last one is the email. So this is how I will read all the elements and put it in the record. The next step is to, when we have all this in this variable, we need to write it into the Firebase database. So for that I will use the context.add record, and it will refer to this reference, and the data will be written to the Firestore database. Now let us check it. Let me run it. Here we have the Firestore database. We have only one collection, and that is contacts. And if we run our code, let's see what happens. So here we are. Let me click on the read Google Sheets button. Here it is displaying, and if we go to the our Firestore database, let me refresh it. Here we are. So we have the context 2, and the context 2 has been established, or it has been populated from the Google Sheets. Now we see over here we have the Google Sheets over here, and we have the collection, Firebase collection over here, which has been exported from Google Sheets to the Firestore database. So with this, we have completed our project of exporting data from Google Sheets to the Firebase database. Thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed this video and also this training. Thank you. The app developed so far is taking context from the Firebase Firestore database. Now, if we see at these chips at the top over here in the app, these are hard coded over here in the rep class inside here. So we have all these chips hard coded. Now, what is the objective now? That we want to populate these chips from the Firebase Firestore database. For example, we have R over here. Here is the category, and we want the categories to be displayed over here as chips that can be selected. So, and the category will be taken from the category field of the document. If you see over here, The category is RO. For this particular contact, the category is DRO. Over here, the category is also RO. Here is the category engineer. So we want these categories to come as chips in the app. Now what I will do, I will just delete this portion. I'll just make it comment over here. I'm not removing it because I may use it, and if I hard reload it, it will be removed. I also want to remove this elevated button, so I will also comment it. So I have, let me put in single comment to make it more clear. Here it is. So when it is hard reloaded, we have only the list view. So over here uh, I will call a function chips, and the chips will be actually a widget, and I will say call it chips, and over here I will return a wrap element. Now since there is nothing inside this wrap element, let me put one element. For example, I will say my chip. Sorry, these will be the children, and the children will be my chip, and any, for example, and the color is colors dot for example, I can put any color. Let me put amber. So here it is working. I was just testing it, so I will not put a wrap over here. Now as I used the stream builder in for my list view, I will use the same stream builder over here. So I will return a future builder, return future builder, and sorry, and the future item is Firebase dot initialize app, and the builder is uh, the context comma builder snapshot, sorry, and it will actually, let me put a semicolon over here. I will return a stream builder, return stream builder, query snapshot, and the stream is db.collection, and here is the collection name. Collection name is contacts dot snapshots, and the builder is sorry, I forgot the parenthesis over here, and the builder is context comma snapshot. And first of all I will check. First of all, I need to check if the snapshot has the data, so I will apply the if condition. If not snapshot dot has data, it means the snapshot has no data, then I will return center and a child will be circular progress bar, circular progress indicator, semicolon. Or if there is data, then I will say else return wrap. I will return a wrap element, sorry, wrap, and the children will be snapshot dot, children will be taken from the snapshot, so I will say snapshot dot data dot docs dot map, and I will map it to doc. Here I need, sorry, docs, and here I will return my chip. The string, let me just put any string, or I will take, let me just put any string over here, for example any, and then the color will be colors dot here I need to convert it to the list, so I will say to list, and here is my chip. I will say colors dot amber, for example. So here we have it, here it is, any. So since we have these much records, all is returned over here. Now instead of any, I need this field, the category field. So I need to change it from any to DOC of category. So it will take the category field and will display it. Oh, here it is. Now if you see, arrow is displayed multiple times. You don't need repetition in this case. Now how to resolve this problem? Let me create a list over here. Let me create a list. So I will say list string, and then, sorry, name of the list is okay, let's make it as list equals, this is an empty list. Let me first clear it, list dot clear, although it will be cleared. Now if I don't want repetition over here, so how can I remove this repetition? Over here I can have the if check. So I will say if list dot contains DOC of category, then don't display it. So I need a, dot to string. If list dot contains this, then don't add. So I can have a container with a null child. I will return it. Sorry. Otherwise, else what I will do, I need to add to the list. First of all, I will say list dot add doc of category dot to string, and over here let me also make it to string, and I need to enclose it in braces. Now let me check it. No, let me stop it and restart the program. Now, in order to have different colors for different chips, we need some sort of random number generator. For example, if you want to use 6 colors, I will generate a random number and then select the color based on the random number. Now, for generating the random number, you need to import a library at the top, and that is the import math. So you have to import the math library, and then I will apply the random number over here. I will just delete it because I don't need any number. Let me just leave it to have the default number. So I will generate a random number R&D random, and then I will have an integer I which is equal to R&D dot next int, and I will give it 5 or 6 to make it between 1 and 6, and then I can have the switch statement, switch I, and I will say case 1 colon color is equal to colors dot, for example I can select any color, deep orange, And similarly I can apply this the case for all the 5 colors. I will say 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to add break to all the cases, and over here I can change the colors. So I am selecting different colors. Let me check it. Again I have to restart. So here we are. We have different colors now for the categories. Now to recap, we have used a widget chips, which is actually a function, and this function returns a future builder, and items are taken from the context collection, and the field is taken, that is the category field is given over here. This is the category, and it is added to the list. We also change the myChip function, in which we remove the second argument, and to have different colors we use the random number generator. In this case we have this random number generator to give different colors to the chips. So that's it. In the next video I will tell you how to populate this drop down list from our areas in the Flutter. Over here this is location. So this location will be taken from the Firebase Firestore database, and it will come over here as an option. So stay connected. Thank you very much. In this tutorial I will tell you how to populate a drop down button from Firestore Firebase database. In this app, uh, in the app bar, we have this drop down button with list of locations or list of the cities, and it is displayed from here. We have the scaffold, and for the app bar I have created my own app bar widget, which is over here. And in the app bar I have a column with two children with a drop down, and in the actions, and here is the location drop down. Now if you see the location drop down, the items in this location drop down are hard coded over here. My objective is to remove these hard coded locations and take the data or take the items from the Firestore Firebase database from the context collection. So I have this context collection with these many documents, and I want to pick the location, this particular field, and all the data which is available in these fields I want to be as items of this drop down button. So let's code. For the time being, I will just remove everything from here, and over here I will simply write a container with a null child. Here it is. Now if I hard reload, there is nothing, it is blank. So I will write my code over here. But before writing the code, let me tell you that how I am going to do it. What I will do that I will pick this data, these documents, and store it in a list, and that a string, a list of strings, and that string list will be used as a source for the drop down button. Now let me create two variables. I will go to the top of the class, and over here I will create a variable item list. It is actually a list of strings, and then a string variable which is location. For the time being, you just ignore it. I will explain it later, but it will be the location that is selected. This variable will have the location that is selected. For the time being, I have given it the value of all. Now, once you have these two variables, the first step is to fetch this data from the Firestore database, these locations, and store it in the variable, in this particular variable. Now, for that, I will use over here a function called fetch data, and I will create a function over here. I will create this function over here, and I will say of void, but rather I should say future void, because using it is fetching the data from the database. So I will say fetch data, and here I will write the code. Here it is giving me an error because this should be asynchronous, because I have used the future. It is a future function. Now the first step is to have a collection, have a reference to the collection. So I will create a variable and in initiated collection reference item ref. For example, you can give it any variable name, Firebase Firestore dot instance dot collection, and here is the collection name. Context, you already know it. Let me show it you here. Here is the collection name. So let me put it on the next line to be more clear. Now, after the collection, you need to get all documents in this collection. So we can use this, we can take all the documents by using the query snapshot. And I will say the function that I will call is the items ref dot get. Sorry, dot get. So it will get all the documents and put it in the query snapshot. Now the next thing is to create a temporary list. So I will create a temporary list, and it is a list of strings, temp item list, and I will initialize it. And then I have to go through all the documents in this query snapshot and put it in the temp item list. So how I'm going to do this, I will say query snapshot dot docs dot for each, and over here I will write the code for each, for example, document. Now this will be a loop. What I will do, that I will add the location field of each document to this list. So I will say temp list, temp item list dot add, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the location, because we have multiple fields in this document. Let me show it again. We have multiple fields. We have category, cell number, email, location. Now I want to add this particular field to the list, so I have given over here doc of location. Now it will add all the items to that particular list. Now this is how we fetch the data and put it in the temporary item list. Now the next step is that when we have all the data available in the list, we also need to make it a string to avoid any error. Now when we have established this temporary list, we need to update the state uh, of the app when we have fetched the data. So we will call the set state function, and in the set state function I will say the item list is equal to temporary item list. Why I am doing this? Because as I told you, I will store it in the item list. Now we have all the locations in the item list over here, and now I want to put this item list in the drop down. I want to populate this drop down. So I will come to my function over here, which is the location drop down, which is for the time being a null container with null child. Now let me program it. Now let me change it to the center because I want to put the items in the center. So the location drop down will be in the center. Now the first check that I want to apply is that if this particular if item list is empty, then there should be no drop down, but instead there should be a circular progress bar. So I need now, if I will check if the item list have some value, so I will apply the check over here, item list dot is empty. Now, if the item list is empty, it means that the data has not yet been read from the Firestore database. So in this case, I will return a circular progress indicator, and if the list is not empty, then I will return a drop down list drop down button over here. Now for the time being, just I will put a null over here and a null over here. Let me hard reload. Now you see we have a button with nothing inside. So let me put it in the next lines to make it more clear. Now I need the items, and these items comes from the item list, and I will map this item list. So I will say map. Now let me put it in the next line as well to make it clear. Delete it. I will convert it to the list. Now since it is returning a drop down menu item, I will convert it into a list. Now over here I will return the drop down menu item. So I will say return drop down menu item, and child is our text with the value E. Let me make it as a string and also give it some other, make it a value. So I will say value, and here it is. So in this way we are returning the value. Let me hard reload it and check. Nothing happens. There is some error. Oh, we forgot the value. So it is the drop down menu item, the child is this, and the value is value. Just to distinguish between the two, I will make it as VAL. Sorry, let me make it VAL. This is also VAL, and this is also VAL. Now, if I hard reload it, again there seems to be some problem. Let me check. Let me run it again. So here we have the drop down button, but it cannot be clicked. Now the thing, the reason is that on the changed function, we have not mentioned any function over here. It is null. So instead of null, I will write the code over here. So I will say, let me put it to the next line. This is, and over here, I will say when we have the new value over here, when it is changed, what I want to do is that I want to set the state of the app, and in the what, let me check it. Yes, it is now selectable. It is selectable now, but when this is selected, the value will not come over here. So I will say over here location, or before location, let me have some changes in it, because if you see over here, this Taif is repeated twice, Abha is repeated, Makkah. So it is taking all the elements from the collection. Now, in order to avoid the repetition, we don't want the repeated elements to be displayed. I need to make some changes to my code. So where I can make the changes, I will go to the main function in which I fetch the data. Here is the fetch data function, and over here I can make the changes, and I will say if temp item list contains, if it contains, I will copy it. If it contains the location, then there is no need to add to the list. So if I will apply a not over here, a not operator, so it means that whenever a location has already been added to this temporary list, it will not be added again. Now let me stop it and run it again. Now you see we don't have repeated elements in the list. Now but the problem is that when I select any city, it is not displayed as the selected value in the drop down list. Let me do it. How can we do it? We will have the unchanged value of the drop down, and we will say, or we will store it in a variable called location. The location variable I defined before at the top, as I told you, we will use it if we come over here. Here is a string location variable with the value all. So I will say location is equal to new value. When it is changed, the new value will come in the location. Let me make it to string, and the default value for this drop down will be the default value for this drop down will be the location. Now let me hot reload it. There is some error because I have mentioned all at the top. Over here it is saying the drop down don't have a value all. the default value is all over here, and that's why it is giving me the error. So what I have mentioned that we need all as the default value, and actually all has not been added to the list. So I will make a simple add function and say add, and over here I will write all. So it will also add the string all to my list. I need to stop it because the function is executed from the init function, so hard reload won't work. So I will stop it and run the application again. So here we are. At the top we have the all because this is the default value, and we can change it. So whenever I change any value, it is displayed and selected as the value for the drop down. Now the next step is that when I select any location, for instance Taif, only list of the contacts from Taif should be displayed. Or if I select Makkah, only list of the contacts from the Makkah should be displayed. Now let me implement this functionality. Now this can be done by going to the list view and to the list view widget, which is over here. This is the context list view widget, and the context list view widget has the builder. Now in the stream over here, as it is getting data from this stream from the context, I have to make some changes over here, and over here I need to put the condition, and the condition is that if location is equal to all, then take all the data from this collection. It is a ternary operator. Otherwise, I will, let me copy it. I have to apply the where clause in the DB collection, and I will say db.collection.where, and over here I will say the field name where location is equal to location. So this is the where clause, just to make it more visible. At the end I need to have a comma. Let me put it in the next line to make it more visible to you. So I will say where. Now when we apply the where clause with the db.collection function, it will filter out the records or the records from the Firestore database with this particular condition to be met. Now over here I will say this is the location, and now I want to apply the where clause. So here it is, and this location is the string field that we have selected. When we select from the items list this type, it will go to the location variable, and that can be used as a filter. So when I click on type, only contacts from type are selected. When I select Makkah, contacts from Makkah are selected, and when I select all contacts are displayed. So this is how we can populate a drop down button from the Firestore Firebase database. And if I repeat it, the first thing that you need to do is to fetch data from the database. And how can we fetch the data? Let me search it. Fetch data. This is not the one. This is an older function. Here is we need to call this fetch data function from the init state function inside the init state function, and the fetch data function, it takes all the data and put it in the item list. And when we have the item list populated, we call the set state function. And in the set state function, what it will do, that it will update my app bar, And inside my app bar I have given the location drop down, and location drop down is over here, which has this code. So hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. I little bit long presentation, but this is I couldn't make it more shorter than that. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you. In the previous tutorials, I told you how can we populate these chips in Flutter from Firestore Firebase database. Now we use the future builder, and using the stream builder we created these widgets. Now I will tell you another method of how to fetch data from the Firestore database and based on that data populate these chips. So let's move. How we are going to do this is to take data from the Firestore database and store it in a list of strings. Now for that I need an array of strings. I have created a variable. This is a cat list uh, variable, and this is actually a list of strings. And I have also declared a variable with the name category, which will have the current category of the selected category from the chips. The next step is to write a function that fetches the data from the Firestore database and stores it in the string list. Now I will, as I have already written the function in the previous tutorial for fetching the category, for fetching the locations, I will copy the same function. This is the fetch data function. So I will copy the function, paste it, and give it the name. Instead of fetching data, I will say fetch categories, just to distinguish it from the previous function. And in addition to the fetch data, I will call the function fetch categories from the init state function. Now in this fetch categories, I need to make some changes. And the first change that I need to make is to change this location to the category. From where I have got this, if you go to the documents, here is the name of the field category. So I will write over category, and over here I will also write the category. So in this way I will be able to read all the categories and put it in the temporary array temp item list. Then I need to copy this temp item list into the cat list. So I will establish this cat list. Now after reading the data from the Firestore database and storing it in the cat list string list, I will establish these chips from the cat list variable. So let's do it. Let me first change this to correct the spelling mistake. Now for this I will create a widget class for the chips, and I will name it as chips2, as I have given over here. Here is chips2. Let me delete these lines to make it more clear. Sorry. Now if you see, here is the chips2. I will call it chips2, and then I will have this expanded list over here. So what the chips list 2 widget is doing, it is my own function. It is actually a wrap class. This is a wrap with the children are created from the get list list, and it returns a my chip, which is a widget which we have already developed. So this is a my chip. So this is the individual chip that I am returning. So in this way, I am able to create, let me hard restart it. In this way, I am able to create this chip list in a rep class from the Firestore database. Now the next thing I need to do is that when the user clicks on the chip, you see the chips are not clickable. When the user clicks on the chips, particular category of the staff or the contact list is displayed. For instance, if I press on DPO, only DPOs are displayed, and when I click on DMO, only DMOs are displayed. So let's implement this functionality. Now this functionality can be implemented if we go to the my chip class over here. This can be implemented by in the gesture detector when I give the on pressed no on press event on no I'll implement the on tape event. So in the on tape event, I will when the chip is clicked, when this is taped, I will make the category as the label of the chip. I will assign this label. This is the label. I will assign it to the category. Let me put a comma over here. Now, for the time being, just I want to delete the different colors, and the background color I will also delete it. So let me check it. Now it has the same color now. Now when I click, nothing is happening again. Although I have now I have not called the set state, so I will call over here set state, and I will put the variable over here. Let me hard reload. Again, there is no change. If you see, there is no change inside. Now, why? Because I have not implemented the changes in the list view. This is the list view, and I need to make changes in the where clause as I made it before for the location button. So I will go to the context list view. Now here is the stream. Over here it may be complicated because I have already implemented a condition over here, and the condition is on the location. So if the location is changed, the list is changed, and similarly I want to implement another condition, and that is with the category. Now this will be little bit complicated, but let me do it. Now over here I will say I will implement another condition, and that condition will be category is equal to all. When the category is all, then you can take all the elements over here, or if the category is not all, then I will say I will implement the where clause, and that where clause will be similar to the next one. So let me put it over here, context where category is equal to category. Seems a little bit complicated, but let us check it. So if I have this as all, and this is also all, so it is displaying all. But if I click on DPO, it is only displaying DPO, or DMO, it is displaying DMO. Again, if I come to all in arrow, it is displaying me all arrow. And if I select Abha, it should give me arrows from Abha, but there is a mistake. It is, these are not arrows from Abha, there is also D arrow over here. So it means that I need to make some changes over here as well. So again, I will put the same condition over here. Let me put it down. And the condition again, it is if category is equal to all, then return this. I'll put a question mark over here. And if it is not, then we need to this is the else clause. I remove this comma, and this is else. So I have to add another where condition. So I will say this, and then again I will say dot where category comma is equal to is equal to comma category. Oops, little bit complicated, but let's see it. Now if I select all, and all from here, all are selected. If I select type, only type is selected. And if I select, for instance, Abha with everyone is selected. And if I select on D arrow, no, it is not working. Let's see where is the problem. The problem is here. It has not been reloaded. Sorry for that. Okay, let me hot reload it. So here it is. If we have all and all over here, so all are selected, and DMO, DPO, and if we select type, there is no DEC in type, that's why. Now the last thing that we need to do is that we need to highlight in some form the selected item, and that can be done by the if we go to the my chip. Let me go, where is my chip? Sorry. We will go to the my chip widget over here, and I will change the background color, and this background color will be based on some value of the category. So I will say if category is equal to label, it means it is the current, it is the current chip that is selected. So I will say colors dot for example amber, else colors dot for example deep orange. Let me check it. So here when we select all, it is changed, the color is changed. Similarly, whatever value is selected, the color is changed for that particular chip. So with this, we have finished our app. I hope you have enjoyed the course. Thank you very much.